Back. My name is Katja Theise and I'm happy to join you here. I will be guiding you through the rest of the program of the Recovery Forum today. And right now I want to pay your attention to the headsets, please. Yeah, because without them, it's silent disco is not working. And talking about the sounds, just listen to that. Do you listen it? Ooh. It might seem to be annoying, but actually I think it's quite a positive, symbolic noise on the backstage. It's like very suitable for this recovery forum, which is actually unites different people and organizations through their commitment to the recovery, reconstruction and modernization of Ukraine. And right now you will find out about 5 selected international flagship projects. So over the next 30 minutes, all those representatives of that projects will tell you about them and about their work. And for that, I would like to welcome here on stage the moderator of this part of the program, who is Dr. Volker Trier, member of the Executive Board, German Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
That's me. That's me, and that's not really loud. Okay, yeah.
Please.
I need the headset as well in order to hear me.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's not functioning.
Okay. Now it's functioning. Yeah. Okay, wonderful. That's a technique. It might be a German technique, right? So welcome everybody. We have seen the ceremony of the award winners, right 15 minutes after 2 o'clock p.m. I'm very delighted to have the opportunity to give 5 of them awardees the opportunity to present what they are doing in the Ukraine. What are the incentives? A short presentation of your company. There's no need, Helga, that Bayer AG needs to represent yourself. Everybody knows, at least in Germany. But you are the one to start with. So you are in a Ukrainian region since 2018, and you renewed and extended your investment even after February 24th, 2022. What were the reasons? What are your experiences with all of you? You have 4 minutes in order to present what you're doing there and what makes the difference of your investment for the country and maybe even beyond the borderlines. Helga, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And I think I will start with what you said at the end. The relevance of the investment there for Ukraine and beyond. Let me just say first, for those of you that might not know Bayer, Bayer is a leading life science company that supports clients, patients, and customers in the area of agriculture and in the area of health. We are represented in over 80 countries all over the world. I'm from Mexico, so I grew up with Bayer, as we call it over there. Now, Bayer is driven truly from its mission, which is health for all and hunger for none. Now, if you have such an ambitious mission, we cannot but think the important role that Ukraine plays for food security in the world. Unfortunately, we have seen that giving to the results impact of the war. In Ukraine, we have been since 1992, as you mentioned. We have thousands employees. And in 2018, we launched an investment. It's a seed production site that produces corn that is then exported for farmers in Europe and others to grow corn. So it's a top of the line, top of technology. We invest 200 million at that moment. And indeed, when the war came, I think it was a decision of our company altogether. What do? Do you stop or you double down? We decided to double down. And we announced recently that we invested 60 million euro in addition to modernize the site and to continue to deliver. Why? Because it's not only important for Ukrainians, for patients, for jobs, for exports, because we are feeding the world with that, and this is why it's important. If I may say, just at the end, just to give you one figure of the relevance, the seeds that are being produced in Ukraine are exported to Europe and farmers grow corn. Last year, out of these seeds, they grew 3 million tons of corn. So a lot of corn that you might see in Europe started in that place of Ukraine called Pochuki, but don't ask me if my pronunciation is correct. And this is the relevance. If I may say at the end, we are proud of the investment. We're certainly very proud of what we can contribute for Ukraine to support, as I mentioned, jobs, to boost productivity of agriculture and Ukrainian exports. But most of all, the message that I would like to leave with you, and I think all of us represented here, is that we hope with this very concrete, tangible example of what we are doing and how we are decided to move on, we inspire other companies, because we need to ensure that Ukraine's feasibility, economic feasibility, is maintained and keeps on innovating beyond what we have today. Last word. If any of this recognition that you gave us today goes really to my colleagues in Ukraine, I mentioned we have thousands of them. They have been maintaining the business under tremendous circumstances, as we all know. So if I can only say something, this is for them and thanks to them. So thank you for that recognition, because that will inspire them to continue.
Thank you, Helga, very much. Please give her and all the people involved a grand hand of applause. Thank you. Helga Flores Trejo, Vice President and Head of Multilateral International Affairs at Bayer, or as we say, Bayer. There's also a football team, and they have won the German National Cup. But that's a different story. The second is Adam Gramala, COO and R&D engineer at Inforce Medical Technologies. So you and your company, you support the Ukraine with a totally different product for disabled people, for wounded people, when it comes to prosthesis support for persons who are hit by the war and at the frontal line. So Adam, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Yes, I'm a chief engineer of Polish company, who is one of the 4 companies in the world that developed bionic foot prosthesis. And now we are helping to Ukrainian people by two parts, two things. First is to teach their specialists, because now we have numbers. We know the numbers that more than 50,000 people lost their limbs currently. 50,000 people. It's a big amount of the wounded, and people are waiting for the prosthesis even by 6 months. Unfortunately now, and we have to think about the service of the prosthesis, the changing of the prosthetic socket, and so on and so on. So first, we want to train, and we currently do it. We trained Ukrainian specialists directly in Ukraine. We are going to Ukraine with my engineers, and we are doing it there because we know that it's more efficient to the system to train them directly in Ukraine, as I said. And that's the first part of our helping Ukrainian soldiers and Ukrainian specialists. And the second part is providing good quality medical devices for them, because we producing every part by our own power. And that's why I said we gave more than 20 prostheses to the patients, and now we want to make a special system to set the prosthetic points that is based on 3D scanner and 3D printers that is more efficient and much more fast than now than they are doing now. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, and that's what we want to do. For example, next year, to set new 3 prosthetic points in 3 cities to provide good quality prosthesis for the soldiers.
When it comes to the market, it's not so easy to say because it's a really sorry market. A market, what makes us, was it worrisome? How much of the market do you have already, so to say, satisfied, covered?
Well, as I said, no, now we have more than 50,000 people, so there is a big market, yeah. But to be honest, it's the key difference is the fast teaching of the specialist, because our program is based on just 2 weeks of teaching program. And after 2 weeks, the specialist, who is, for example, an engineer or a physiotherapist, can work with our engineers in Poland together and making, for example, prosthetic socket and for the patient. So that's what we want to do, and what we are doing it, to teach prosthesis for Ukrainian soldiers, for the wounded people. Yeah? And as your question, the market, we want to. I think that for us, a small company here is Bayer, as you said, Bayer and we. As for us, it's even 5% of this market will be very, very good, and that's our goal.
So once again, I would like to please you to give him, Adam Gramala, a great hand. Doing a really great and important job in the country. A bit related, and sitting next to me, and the third flagship project is done by Global Clearance Solutions, and we have Philipp von Michaelis, CEO and co-founder of the company, here next to me. Please tell us about your endeavors in the country.
Volker, thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to emphasize what Helga said before. I do take that award on behalf of my team in Ukraine, but also in Switzerland and Germany, who actually deserve the recognition for working so hard and making an impact. Global Clearance Solutions, maybe a word on what we do. We are a full solution provider. We support governments and countries to overcome the consequences of armed conflicts. In a simple term, that is demining, which is a term that a lot of people suddenly became to know over the last 2 years. It's not only landmines we clear all sorts of ammunition that is left after when the front lines move. There are improvised explosive devices, there's left ammunition of all sorts, and it's a very complex activity. We go about it by focusing on 2 capabilities. One is the development of technology. We have a wide range of products. Remote controlled platforms is the core product. These are machines we send to the field to decontaminate the land. We have sensor and detection equipment. We use drones, so very strong focus on technology. And then the second capability is operational competence. That means we bring our know-how to those regions, so we train local people, local teams, to make them understand how to use the technology in the most efficient way. And that's where we have, over the last 2 years, built up a good infrastructure in Ukraine. Back in March, April, when a lot of people left Ukraine, we actually moved into Ukraine to start understanding the need for our solutions, to get a feeling for the country, to be honest, to build up relationships. And now looking back, we have a company established with offices, a service center where we do repairs and maintenance, where we're currently building up a large warehouse. We have 25 people and growing. And we serve a variety of clients and have delivered so far more than roughly 40 systems, and a lot more to come. Back in January, we've been accredited to also provide the services. So now we go out and We create awareness for the threats. We had a project currently or recently in Bucha, where we surveyed and cleared an area of 5 hectares where they're now building a hospital for veterans, actually. So there's a lot of things we can do. There's a lot of things we still need to do. And therefore, I'm grateful for that opportunity, for that platform here, because it allows us to interact not only with other companies, but also with the political, with the diplomatic sphere. So I think that's what it needs, even more going forward, the interaction, the collaboration between the political, the military, and the commercial spheres to be effective in Ukraine, and over time reduce these massive costs of war, which will affect the country for a long time to come. So thanks again for having me. Thanks again for the award, and back to you, Volker.
Thank you, Philip. Also, a great applause for Philip. Maybe one word. What is your major obstacle to do your business, so to say, in the country?
It's really coordinating the various interests, because obviously we're working on behalf of many donors. We're working directly with the various stakeholders, with CESU, with the police, with the army, with the NGOs, with the commercial sector. So really understanding all those needs and sort of consolidating them, so that in the end everybody sees the progress we are trying to achieve is one of the major challenges. Obviously, it's also bureaucracy, it's also logistics and many other things. So it is a very complex situation. Which you need to be aware of, but then again, there are always solutions in a country like Ukraine, and I dare say I love the pragmatism we encounter when dealing with the Ukrainian people. It is something we can actually learn back here in Germany, in Switzerland, and other countries. So I'm looking forward to doing more.
Thank you, Philip. Pragmatism, that's a key word. Maybe also for an insurance company. Marsh McLennan is the company, and we have Crispin Ellison with us. The trade in the Black Sea, or the non-trade in the meantime, was a great topic in media, and many customers were waiting for ships to come, and you made it happen. That's what I read.
That's a little bit more than...
So tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, Marsh McLennan, for those who don't know, we're the world's largest insurance broker and risk advisory business. And when Putin withdrew from the Black Sea Grain Initiative July last year, all shipping stopped. He said he would sink the ships. An essential enabler to getting that flow of trade moving was to get war risk insurance on the ships. It's a great honor to sort of receive this award, but as well as sort of our team, it was a much broader group who actually delivered this. It was a public-private partnership, Government of Ukraine, Ministry of Economy, Ministry of Infrastructure, Export Credit Agency, 14 Lloyd's insurance underwriters, 2 Ukrainian banks and a German bank. It was a big package with about 20 lawyers representing all the groups as we got to contract stage. So it was a big team effort. What did it do? Well, it got insurance premiums down from 5% per trip. So if you do 10 trips, you're paying half the value of your asset in premium, unaffordable, to where we are today at just over 0.3%. So it's sort of 12-fold reduction in insurance premiums, opened up the Black Sea shipping corridor, 30 million tons of grain going to where it's needed, $20 billion of trade for Ukraine, and 7% of its GDP. So, you know, a huge impact, of which we were an enabler. We didn't do the whole thing. But we're now running at a bigger rate of shipping, more than 1,500 ships a year, which is where we were before the invasion. I mean, we're now working on similar complex schemes to get aviation back into Ukraine, and recently to ensure replacement energy products. But one thing I'd just like to say is, you know, as we go forward, we lack capacity for insurance. The insurance industry globally is not properly leaning into Ukraine. we don't have access to the vast majority of insurance capital. The insurance industry needs to take more of an interest. We helped the Ukraine government put together a war risk data platform which shows the astonishing variation of violence and risk across Ukraine. The front line, 18,000 artillery shells a day, but 66% of Ukraine's local authorities have not had a single explosive incident since the invasion. So treating Ukraine as a monolith is lazy and unintelligent. People need to understand the difference, and then we can start to bring that insurance capital into Ukraine. At the moment, the reinsurance industry has an automatic exclusion for Ukraine. It's called the RUB exclusion, Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, a deeply insulting term. And, it doesn't make business sense. Industry, we need to challenge that sort of exclusion, which means at the moment you can't get reinsurance for earthquake in Ukraine. I'm not talking about war risk. So we need to challenge that sort of exclusion and have it removed and have more intelligent risk-based assessments which will allow the market to come back. Thank you.
Thank you, Crispin. Yeah, very worthwhile. So your plea, was this a recommendation for policymakers?
Yeah, no.
An urgent recommendation.
Yeah, no. The US government, UK government, European Commission are well aware of my views, and some of them are beginning to share it.
Yeah, and even we're in Germany here. Had you the opportunity to speak with some of our higher political representatives, because
Ursula von der Leyen, I know, isn't Germany, but she is on side. Penny Pritzker's on side. Lord Cameron mentioned this morning in his speech the importance of war risk insurance. But there's something about, actually taking the trouble to look at what's going on in Ukraine rather than making broad brush assumptions, which are so damaging for all forms of investment, not just insurance.
Thank you, Crispin, once again. Last but not least, we are changing the sector once again. We have Sven Kruk. He's Managing Director and Chief Revenue Officer at Quantum Systems. You're producing drones in the Ukraine. I've heard that our Vice Chancellor and your company did a celebration according the delegation trip of Mr. Habeck to Kiev. Sven, tell us about your investment in the Ukraine.
Thanks, Volker. Yeah. Yes, actually, we invested with risks. We did it proactive, I would say, beginning of May 2022. So that was our start when we jumped into Ukraine. Our first travels from the leadership team started at this time. And then we acted the whole time till the day today by the motto, deliver, support, and integrate. And that's at the end brings me to opening our fifth facility, but that will come at the end. So in May 2022, we started to deliver the first 25 ISR drones. We are a producer of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance drones, which are supporting the artillery, what you mentioned, which are supporting other mechanized weapons on the ground for movement parts, and also giving you an overview about the battlefield at this time for tactical and operational decisions. So till that moment, we are delivered roughly 250 systems to Ukraine, and till the end of the year, we'll have 500 systems at the battlefield in Ukraine. And at some moment, we realized that having signal chats the whole time with the operators and realizing and getting this information, what's going wrong, what we have maybe to change, because we all know electronic warfare is our biggest fear on the drone side. We decided to open in May 2023, actually opened at this time by our four-star General Breuer and with General Freuding together, our service support, training and logistics center. So we focus not only on deliverings, and we also like the other companies named, we also started to bring more training in, to really doing more maintenance elements, and really to integrate at this time into the country and supporting the troops on the ground as best as we can. And then this integration part, I would say, was growing, and this led us to the moment 2 months ago where we opened with Minister Alexander Kamishin and also with Minister Habeck together our spare part facility and our R&D hub. So it's not only a spare part production, it's also an R&D hub, because we have to develop our systems day by day. And without this clear information on the ground from the operators, and also having now more than 40 people working in the service center and supporting us and really integrating this knowledge, we were not there where we are now. So yes, we opened there this facility, invested roughly 2 to 3 million. It's not so much like Bayer has invest and will invest, but for us it's a lot of money. We are a scale-up company. We want to increase it to roughly 10 million of investment, up to 100 jobs. That's the main idea behind it. And yes, I think with this investment, we are united not only in defense, united in recovery, and stronger together, and having more impact on this battlefield against Russia. And we as Quantum System were there for the last 2 years, and we will stand there also for the next years, and we are also committed for the long term, and we will supporting as best as we can.
Thank you, Sven. Please give him also a great hand. One question, because you asked me in advance that I should ask you, that the motto of your company or your investment is deliver, support, integrate. Just a snap answer, please. What does it mean?
As explained, it's a lot of Western companies tried only, especially the US companies, only to deliver their products. I don't want to name these companies in the drone business, and I will not do it, but they are crashed down with this approach. So if you're not supporting your demining elements or some other, or your battle tanks on the ground, you will not succeed in Ukraine. Hopefully you will not succeed at any place in the world if you're not being there and really supporting it. And in the integration element, I mean, and this is what Philip mentioned before, it's really good to see how the politics side, the military side, the commercial side is working together for one goal, and really pragmatic, and really only focusing on the goal to helping Ukraine as fast as possible. And this topic is missing in Europe and in the Western world, and this is a topic we can really learn back or learn again, like Philip said, also in Germany and all over Europe. And that's our slogan: deliver, support and integrate.
Thank you so much, Sven. Thank you to all of you. You are really worthwhile awardees. You have flagship projects which might be really role models for other companies in order to business, even against the backdrop of this was sorry-wise and what we all dislike, what is happening day by day in the country. Please give once again, and last but not least, a great hand for all the awardees. Thank you so much. And I give back the moderation to the lady.
For sharing your experience. Thank you very much. And now I'm going actually to announce a short break, half an hour, and then we will meet here again and move from the international flagship projects to the best practices from the civil society, which is also very interesting. But this was only first part, and as far as I know, we will be able to find out more from the best international flagship projects tomorrow at 12:30. Yeah? See you later.